what's going on? I'd figured I'd do a couple videos on Truststones just to follow up my first one, especially like mistakes that I've made, what I've learned. So when I go to Truststones, let me show you first. These are all the items that have Truststones on them. Now, still, the green is a great strategy for any trust stone that you're going to use. You can see I just threw green ones on here with HP and attack, and what that gets you is a free 5% HP, all elemental attack resistance, 10% up in attack, and defense piercing rate. So these are what I do for items that I'm going to eventually put pinks on. So then here's a Dark Fina's new one. So again, just threw on some greens for HP and attack just to get those bonuses on there. Now everything else you see all has pinks. So we can see here, these all have pinks on them now. So I've had a lot of experience with the pinks, and I think the first thing that I'm going to go through is which ones I choose to do. Now the first three that I chose to do were all my AP generation items. So bells was first, and you can see I always choose HP and then whatever attack or magic that item is most used. So most units that use the bells are going to be using attack. Anybody that uses AP generation, mostly you're going to be using attack. So you can see it's HP and attack, and you can see at the bottom again, because it's all set bonuses, I get a bonus of max HP up 5%, elemental resist up 5, attack 10, defense piercing. So I chose bells first, then I did Lucio's doing the same strategy. AP generation, it was the second one that I built, again with a set of HP and a set of attack. The third one I chose was then Odila's Apron, the last of the AP generation ones. Again, you can see there is a set of HP and a set of attack. After that, what I then looked into was what universal trust masters do I use the most. So that's when I chose Black Witch Helena's for the agility and dexterity. So because mages use this, you can see I did HP and this time I did magic. So again, the set bonuses max HP 5, elemental attack resistance, but this time you get a 5% or 10% magic up and then spirit piercing rate. So then I chose that one, and then Garbles, another one that mages use that are interchangeable amongst a lot of my units. Then the next ones that I chose was Eunice Close. Eunice Close with that auto heal and protect and shell. So I chose this one. Again, HP. People using this one, they get magic. Now, make sure that I was always using magic and not magic attack, because magic affects healing. Magic attack won't affect healing. That's why you'll see these all with just straight magic. Then I chose Junes. Now most of the people that are going to be wearing Junes are going to be slash attackers, so I chose attack on the right side, but again, it's always HP. Then after that, then I had to start to think, okay, now what specific items do I want to upgrade? So then that's when I chose Velis, because he does have an AP generation. It's a one-time thing, but you can see again HP and magic again, because it's you want magic, not magic attack. After Velis's, I then started looking, okay, what specific units would benefit from it. So then I chose Saint's Circlet. It has that really good buff on it where it's a permanent brave, so it's great for farming, and then it buffs attack and a magic bravery. So then I chose that one too. Then I'm now looking into what specific units could I do. So then this is where you're going to see a little bit of a change is a lock. Now you can see again, always HP. But this time on the right side, I chose the speed. Now I didn't choose the speed for any other one because I know Oron J came out with a great video about always choosing speed. But what I have found is speed is great for arena and guild war when you're fighting against other teams. However, the part of the game that I enjoy the most is the PvE portion of the game where speed doesn't really matter. So that's why you saw my right side stones all either be attack or all be magic. So, but for Locke, he is so fast, I chose speed, and even in PvE, he goes so fast with the speed up that he actually can lap opponents. So that's why I chose that one. And then so the next ones that I'm working on is going to be Dark Fina's. It's going to be the next one, and then Sage's Gauntlet for the move. So those are the two that I'm currently working on now. Now, I have a specific strategy when I am doing my trust stones. I always do left side first. And again, as you can see, what I'm looking for is one's going to have HP, the other one's going to have magic attack resistance, and the third one is going to have slash attack resistance. Again, very generic, very good buffs. When you are getting these, so if I go to, let's say, Locks, you can see he has a slash attack resistance up 7. So when you're first building the stone, they'll come out as either 2, 3, or 4. Now, if you get a 4, it's going to upgrade to a 7. So you can see there's the I, and then here's the P for magic attack resistance up 7, and then the P and then the J. And then there's the hit point up 10. So the way that I do this is, you can see I already have an I, but its hit point is only 3%. Now 4% is going, when you upgrade it, is going to give me the 10. 3 is only going to give me 7. And you can see here, I have the J with magic attack resistance. It's only 3. 3 is only get me 5 when I upgrade it, but the 4 will get me 7. Now, if you're a min-maxer and you're willing to sit there and spend the time trying to get the 4 rather than the 3, that's great. But a 2 at max level isn't that big of a deal. So now what happens is, so I have the I and I have the J, so I'm currently working on the P. So what I do is, this is from yesterday. So ideally what happens is when you go to Forge and I go to P, what I'm looking for is not just the slash attack resistance. If I happen to hit a 4 HP, I keep it and swap out the 3 HP. If I happen to find a magic resistance 4, I'll keep that and then I'll swap out the magic 4. So actually, even though I'm working on the last stone of the left side, I'm actually still looking for all 3. It kind of optimizes what you're doing. So when I go to HP, now you can see that I have more than 2. It's not ideal to do 2 at a time, because when you do 2 at a time, I'll show you, you actually have to check them. So when you forge, and I forge 2 of them, it's not going to tell you the stats on them. I physically have to go in here and go missile attack resistance, I don't want. Petrify resistance, I don't want. So then I have to click OK. And then I have to go out. And then I have to click dismantle. Then I have to click on the 2. Then I have to dismantle them. Yes, I want to dismantle those. And it takes a lot of time. Rather, if I just go to Forge, and I know I'm doing P, I click on the 1 and I only forge 1 at a time, what's going to happen is, it's going to tell me what it is. There's a slash attack resistance up 3. Now normally I would, so that would give me 3, 3, and 3. So this is where I'm looking for a 4 in something. Here, You hit the red button, dismantle and reforge. So then this becomes much faster. Being able, disabled, don't want it. So then we can just go through and it's much faster. Dark attack resistance up, don't want it. I'm looking for slash attack, magic attack resistance, or HP. Spirit debuff, don't want it. So then I just keep going. Agility, see how this is much quicker. And then once you've reached your maximum dismantles, eventually that red button down there is going to be grayed out. So you just can't go. It's got to come back tomorrow and redo it. Figure time-wise, you're going to see, because I believe I can do 30 dismantles with my royal rank. Slash attack for this video. I'm just going to keep going. Normally I would keep that, and then the left side would all max out at 5% rather than 7. Not a big deal with 2, but we're just going to keep going. Wind attack resistance, don't want it. Originally in my videos I was saying you can get resistances, and what I planned on doing was then forging other ones into it, and that got to be way too much. It's going to cost way too much resources, so I figure we're going to go generic and everything that works. 10% HP, always going to work. Slash attack resistance, always going to work. Magic attack resistance, always going to work on any point of the game. So that's why I decided to go more generic and focus on those. So we're just going to keep going. And disable and forge, disable and forge. And doing it this way, because before this change, it would take a long time to forge your Truststones. But this way, you can go in there and hit your 10, your 15, your 20, up to 30. Now there's a slash attack 4. So that's the 4 that I was looking for. So I'm going to go, and that one I'm going to lock down. So I'm completely happy having this one at 4, so it'll max at 7. And then I have the J for the magic attack resistance of 3. I'm completely fine. It's only 2 less than the 7 because it'll max at 5. And then the I, that one has the HP. It'll max at 7% instead of 10%. It's only 3%. It's going to save me the time. But if you were into min-maxing and you want to do that, you go ahead and go for it. But for me and my time, I'm completely happy with that. So that is a brief update on the Truststones, how I craft them, and the items that I choose. I'll make another short one on upgrading them. Alright guys, thanks for watching. And always, you know, my guild, we're always recruiting. Feel free to come join us. All members welcome, new members, casual players, serious players, veterans. Everybody is always welcome. Guild 7th Heaven. Here's the ID. Go ahead and look us up. We're always recruiting. It's a good family group we got going on with a great Discord for questions and sharing. So we will talk to you guys later.